For this last video, I want to talk about the current state of the Democratic Party going into the November election. Now, I don't know if you've been aware, but a lot of minorities from all different ethnicities, African Americans, Asian, Hispanic, a lot of them are starting to support Donald Trump. Now, I'm not saying that all of them will, but a lot of people are starting to realize that the Democratic Party is taking their votes for granted. Now, maybe it's taking them longer to realize this. I realized it, just last year. But one of the reasons why I stopped supporting the Democratic Party, or even in general, left-leaning individuals, particularly the far left, is because many of these individuals have been in politics for decades, and they have not solved the problems in their own community. How many years has Nancy Pelosi been in office? How many years has Chuck Schumer been in office? What about Maxine Waters? How about Bernie Sanders? And yet, many of the problems they say they're fighting for, it hasn't been solved. What does that tell you about them? Now, Donald Trump has only been in office for 4 years. In his first term, in my opinion, he's done more for the Hispanic community and all minorities in general, more than any other Democrat could have done. Not just Democrat, but any career politician. I'm going to try to keep this nonpartisan. But any career politician, they haven't done anything for those people. They've been there for decades, and what have they done? Donald Trump, think about it. What has Joe Biden done in his 40 plus years in politics? Because that's one of the things that they're going to be doing in the debates. They're going to be asking, why should the people vote for you? They're going to be asking Donald Trump, President Trump, why should the American people vote for you? And all he has to do is tell them, well, under my administration, I brought back a lot of jobs. A lot of minorities, Hispanics, African Americans, Asians, they prospered under these new jobs that I brought back into this country. And due to the COVID situation, we had to lose our jobs. But under my administration, I guarantee you that those jobs will come back, and you'll be seeing increased wages. You'll be seeing more jobs coming back to this country and not going away to China. And then Joe Biden, they're going to ask him the same question. Well, Mr. Biden, what have you done? Or what will you do to make these voters vote for you? And now Biden's going to go on a rant. What? Well, we're going to do, we're going to bring back and if you don't vote for me, then you ain't black. He's going to be going on those types of rants. And it's very infuriating. Some people still vote for this party because they think that because they're Hispanic, they have to vote a certain way. And I'll tell you this right now, you don't have to. And that's for any minority in general. Now, if you want to vote for Democrat, by all means, go on ahead. But are you voting for that party because you know they're going to do the job? Or you know they're going to get the job done? Or you're voting because that's what you've been told to do? Seriously, I want you to think about that because that is why I left. No, not that I left, but that is why I stopped supporting the Democratic Party. Because I started to realize that my politicians that were Democrat, by the way, they've been in this field for years. They've been they're career politicians, and yet my community never got better. Santa Ana is the same place that it was when in the 23 years. Now, granted, some streets have been fixed, but other than that, it's all the same to me. My high school, it still looks the same. It really does. I've been gone for literally 5 years. It still looks the same. When I was a kid, that school was still the same before I even entered high school. What have these people done for us? Well, the thing is that now a lot of these Democrats are panicking because they're starting to realize that they can't take these minority voters for granted. A lot of these people were saying, well, we're just gonna, we are just going to give them these promises, and then the moment we get in, we just don't care. And that is one of my beliefs, is that the Democratic Party in general, at least the ones that are in there in that party, many of the career politicians as well, some of them are Republicans as well, is that they take their constituents for granted. They think that they're going to win regardless, and they don't really care. And that is why a lot of people are voting for Trump, because they see this guy as a doer. In 4 years in office, in government, the guy has done a lot of things that many of these politicians haven't even done in decades. But before I even go into this, I want to share with you a quote from Marco Rubio, one of my favorite senators that are in office right now. And he says, and I quote, I think there are some in the Democratic Party, not all, but I think there are some people in the Democratic Party that think that the immigration issue is more valuable to them unsolved. That it gives them something to talk about, that they can go back to Hispanic communities and make unrealistic promises every 2 years and win votes. And I agree with them. Think about it. If these Democrats really did care about these problems, why haven't they solved them? Because they see that as a cash cow. They say we're gonna increase your chances, of becoming a citizen. Then they get elected, nothing happens. Come next election, oh, we couldn't get this done, but I promise you, if you vote me in again, we will get this done this time around. They win again. And they play the same thing over and over again. Why? Because they don't care. They know that if they solve the problem, that's one less promise they can give to their voters. That is why the Democrats don't like Donald Trump. That is why when Bernie Sanders complains about Donald Trump's quote unquote jobs increase, he doesn't like it because he knows that if people have jobs, they're not going to want socialism. They're not going to want the government to take care of them. When Donald Trump's policies encourages businesses to increase the wages on their own without government intervention, Bernie Sanders doesn't like that. You want to know why? Because the government isn't mandating it. Businesses are doing it themselves out of their kindness of their hearts. And what happens when people hear Bernie Sanders' message? Well, under my administration, we're going to get $15 an hour. And then the people who already get paid more than $15 an hour because their businesses themselves give them a pay raise, they look at this and say like, well, I already get paid $15 an hour, bro. So what else do you got? Well, we're gonna get Medicare for all. Well, my company already gives me medical insurance. What else do you got? Um, we will increase public school, whatever. We will improve the quality of public schools. Yeah, man, my kids are already going to charter schools, man. What do you got? What are you gonna do that's gonna benefit me? Oh, what's that? Nothing? Okay, well, I don't care. This is why Democrats do not want to solve these problems, in my opinion. Again, it's not fact. But I agree with Marco Rubio. I think that the reason why many of these career politicians, mostly Democrats, that I have an issue with, I think the reason why these issues are not solved is because they don't want to solve them. Because they know that if these issues are solved, that's one less thing they can talk about in order to get reelected, which is very infuriating to the least. But I do think that the party has taken these votes for granted. I really do. But anyways, let's read a little bit of what this has to say. First, and in this section it reads, minorities aren't single-issue voters. First, as immigrants get older and more prosperous and assimilate into American society, they don't reliably vote Democrat anymore. One reason is that Democrats' redistribution policies don't look very attractive to older immigrants who've worked hard for decades to build more prosperous lives. Yup, think about it. What about those immigrants who came in a long time ago? They've made their businesses. They've made their companies, right? Their small businesses. They become rich. They become millionaires, like the CEO of Goya Foods, right? His grandfather came in from Spain. Do you really think the CEO of Goya Foods is gonna be voting Democrat anytime soon? I doubt it, because his family has prospered. And what does the left say? Tax the rich, increase tax on the rich, and they demonize the rich. That guy, the CEO of Goya Foods isn't going to be voting Democrat. I guarantee you that right now. But let's continue. But the big picture reason may also be that immigrants assimilate more into the American mainstream. They realize more fundamental political truths. The Democratic Party is more interested in having a codependent relationship with its voters. You vote for us and we'll give you free stuff. And there is the gist. There's the gist. My parents, as much as they're classical liberals, they are firm believers that the government shouldn't be giving you anything. One of the things that they've always ragged on us, for me and my sister, and even my little brother, to encourage us to get jobs as soon as possible, is that they always ragged on us for being lazy. One of the things they would tell us is, si quieres que te mantenga el gobierno, vete pa Venezuela. And honestly, they would never hold that card back. Why? Because they don't want you to be dependent on the government. In fact, in many Hispanic households, being dependent on the government is frowned upon. When my parents lost their jobs during the '08 situation, the '08 crisis, and not to mention we lost our home, they were ashamed to use food stamps. Now, they used it, but I could tell by the way their faces were, by the look on their faces. They hated asking the government for help. They hated it because they do not believe that the government should give us stuff. You want something, you gotta earn it. Don't wait for someone to give it to you. And to some degree, that's a conservative view. Donald Trump tells you, well, we're gonna give you jobs. We're gonna give you jobs. We're gonna bring these jobs back from China. We're gonna allow people to work. Everything's gonna be made American, right? He's giving you the opportunity for you to better your life, not the government. That's what the Democrats are saying. You vote for a Democrat, they will give you free stuff. A lot of these people don't appreciate that. Why? Because they don't want to be, and I'll say this in Spanish, they don't want to be mantenidos. They don't want the government to sustain them. They don't want el gobierno que los mantenga. They don't want that. They want to work. They want to earn what they have. Like myself. I earned my way to a newer car. I earned my way to an Xbox One. I earned my way to a laptop. I didn't ask for the government to cut me a check. I worked, I saved, and I got what I wanted. And the best part is the government can't take it away. Because if the government didn't give it to me, they sure as hell can't take it. The government can't come to me and say, Mr. Ruiz, we are taking away your car. Under whose orders, officer? Well, because the government says so. Did the government pay for my car? No. Okay then. Bye-bye. You're not taking my car. This is why a lot of these people are starting to open up. That is why Latinos are voting Donald Trump. That is why African Americans are voting Donald Trump. Because they realize that the Democratic Party has taken their votes for granted. I myself am one of those people, and that is why I walked away from that party. Because unless that party stands for free speech, my right to own guns, not to mention my ability to prosper and not demonize me if I become very prosperous, then until that party becomes the party of JFK, like they would say, because even JFK, by their standards, is conservative. Be surprised how many times I run into college leftists saying that JFK was not a true Democrat. Be surprised. But until the Democratic Party becomes the party of the people again, and realizes that they have to win votes and not take and not be entitled to those votes of minorities, I don't think they're going to win anytime soon. I could be wrong, but that's my opinion. If you guys like this video, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I asked you this question. Hopefully you guys want to answer it. Does and has the Democratic Party is it taking the votes of minorities for granted? Has it been taking their votes for granted? And do you think this is going to be a huge eye-opener come November? Come November. I hope you guys like this video. Again, like, share, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.